and actually get to sort of vote.
So
What other object
this
comes
is
out?
curation via social media.
Well, we kick out social media.
Social media.
I think it's
So it might be good to stick on that.
It's more like the artifacts in the museum have personalities, and they're able to express those personalities amongst each other and to the visitors who come into the museum. Okay, so they have like a social network, but it's not like a social network on Twitter or Facebook.
It would be really good if you guys can update me on what you've been doing, and we can bring, after we've all updated, we can bring that back to what the concept is, because I know where you are, but you guys have gone so through so much explaining the concept to people that I need to know what you've collected now. Cool. So we've. Have you done updating each other, or you're midway through that?
Midway.
So what have you updated on? Like not full detail, but just
some tech stuff and talking about location of how it could work, visitors coming in and out.
Okay.
We just started talking about what a little survey had said in terms of what people want, and then we're just moving on to Martin.
Okay. So I went around asking people, so if the artifacts have personalities and they're talking inside the museum, I was asking people how would those artifacts have those conversations, how would they express it, and people were coming out with all sorts of interesting things. So some people were saying it could be like a reality TV scenario. So it's sort of like Big Brother. So like you might have a television inside the shopping centre in Derby, and every hour you get a 3-minute slot and an artifact is talking, and it's talking through text. So like it uses that text as a medium. So like if the artifact is annoyed, then it's caps lock, it's expletives or whatever. And they were saying like how if they're going to be talking to one another, it should be dependent on what's happening in the world now. So if it's really sunny, then the artifacts will say, the weather is really nice. Or if it's raining, they say such and such. So it's that the sentiment I was getting as well is that like they should be able to physically express themselves. So Pixar, so like they should be able to express themselves physically by that as well. So like you should be able to see their physical.
Okay. What's the point? What's the point?
What are we? Sorry, I just I'm looking at it. I don't work out what it is we're trying to get out of this session, because you guys asked me to come do this, and we've been through a lot of what's the point already.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that the questions we're asking are, because we're doing a kind of new discovery phase this morning.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that the questions we're asking right now are related to what you guys have what you guys are moving towards right now. So when you're asking what's the point, what are you trying to get from this?
What's the fundamental thing about what you're trying to do? I understand sort of making objects happy and sad depending on external environmental conditions. What I'm not absolutely clear about is what's the central proposition. Is this about curation? Is this about allowing people to curate objects themselves?
It's about allowing people to connect with the objects, and then by determining which one is the most popular object, a new object will be brought out of store.
Right, so
it's about
the core
getting
premise is allowing people to curate their own exhibits.
It's emotional and
emotional.
Yeah. So, but I mean, in terms of one of the things that's become really obvious from talking to the other teams this morning is trying to hone the idea down to, as very, very, very succinctly, what actually it is you're trying to do about it. Everything else around that is then how do you achieve that aim. But the core idea itself needs to be robust, everybody needs to be agreed on it, yeah, and then you can say, right, how do we want to engage, how do we want to assess popularity? That's a technical challenge, yeah? How do we want to get objects to communicate? That's a technical challenge. What we're finding other people are doing is actually jumping into solving problem sets, but they're actually not entirely sure about what the problem is they're trying to solve. So part of this morning is just about, sorry, let's talk over the top of you. Part of this morning is about trying to get people to get together their elevator pitch, which is I need to explain my idea in 2 sentences in 5 seconds. Because once you've done that, once you're absolutely clear about what you're trying to do, you can then work on the technical solutions.
We had this morning the facilitators talked through all the groups, and we set this team a slightly different objective for this morning, which is not that. Sorry, I know that's important. I know that's really important, but the teams are we're getting to that towards that what that video will be tonight, presenting the prototype and moving towards that. But the approach here is. Those are all things we're working on, but the approach here is like we're not just at that right now.
Well, I think it's a good point.
But I think it's a good point.
I have the idea that for me, it's very much about automated curation, and for you guys, it's very much about objects talking to each other.
But because we are HCR,
So we need
it's our work.
I think they are
So we need
very
to-
related.
Yeah.
I think the term automated curation is a really bad term because who's automating it? It's the people who are automating it. I just think as a term, I think it's
But do we have to worry about the term?
yeah we don't.
We understand the concept.
The term is a prototype.
If we understand the concept that people are generating that curation.
Yeah.
I mean, it can also be community curated. I'm not stuck on automated.
But that's we're using that as a term that we all understand is a briefly kind of.
I think it should be responsive curation.
Yeah.
Okay, responsive. That's fine. Yeah, that sounds good.
And I think as you guys report back on the things you've been doing, that's where we'll find the connections between the objects interacting with each other and having a dialogue, and people having a communication with the objects, and where the balance of that lies.
I think they are related. Like, there's no doubt about that.
I don't know. It's yeah. I think if we're gonna like elevator pitch this project, then both those elements need to be in there. And I think we all need to be on the same page that those two things are in there. Are we?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
We are just looking from different points, but we are looking at the same thing.
It's there.
No, I'm good. Okay.
So, from what you say, it seems like a lot of people like the audio-text communication.
Yeah, and then physical, like they want to see artifacts shaking. So like have you seen that?
It's going to be like a mess. So,
It's all right.
we are going to choose some.
But we can yeah.
I think we have decided we're going to use Kinect for people to communicate because Kinect is the one that offers the more possibilities. So it's going to offer proximity just on the heart.
Okay, and you got everyone.
3 in.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to add some buttons for the people, but at least the Kinect is on.
Okay. That's
So the idea is someone walks up, they connect with the object, and that connect is going to measure their physical response to whatever conversation that is, or whatever information they take, or just what they experience looking at the object.
yes. I'm glad we've got that in.
And the social media side is now
Secondary.
secondary.
Yeah. I totally want to work on that, but when we have the basics down.
We'll do that tomorrow.
The idea would be to get people to engage with the objects on social media, but not the focus is
Not
on
forced.
getting the objects to tweet or whatever. We've thrown that out. We want people to do the social media, not the object.
But the objects are still going to communicate to people,
Yes.
but maybe not as heavy-handedly as I'm feeling sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the art of the objects are going to be social.
Yes.
So like I don't think we have to worry about social media, like, because it is easy if we get this core object going, or the core idea
The social
in motion.
It's an extension of that.
Yeah.
Like
and it is
in our
very
lives,
easy.
that social media is an extension of us being social.
Exactly,
So it's
yeah,
that
yeah,
whole-
which is cool.
yeah.
We need to get those basics first
Yeah.
before we can think.
So okay, we have physical response of the people. The objects are going to answer with the audio, text, and eventually physically. We have to decide one of those. And then the one thing that we were thinking is object-object communication is going to be coded. So let's say, okay, the people is responding to the object. So we say we have 4 objects, one happy, one normal, one sad. So if we code it, that the other one are mostly happy, the sad can be become jealous automatically, but this is just coding stuff. It's really basic coding.
So the feelings of the objects are related to the feelings of the other
Yeah,
objects.
exactly.
That's what was quite interesting.
So first the people and then the object are influencing each other. And this is, I think, right?
Does that make sense? So like,
X-Men.
so you know, you have like the objects and objects. So when they're interacting with one another, and the people and objects, it's like they have to cross over so that the visitors in the museum can see the objects interacting with one another.
Because like if everyone naturally loves one object, and that's in effect going to make the other object.
Because they're social, you know. It's cool.
This is a like much. I like it. It's a much
It's more concise.
concise, but it's also like a much more.
Thought-provoking.
Yeah, and it's more intuitive than like I'm tweeting this, I'm tweeting that. It's more experiential.
It's built around the artifacts rather than the technology of Twitter or something.
Yeah. That's good.
So yeah, shall we talk a little bit? Sorry, go.
Oh no, I was just stopping the video.
Are you taking a video of it?
Because you have to look up a bit.